Welcome back to Reliable Sources. I'm Brian Stelter. We who love TV news know if you want a conservative point of view, you turn on Fox News. If you're looking for liberals, you turn on MSNBC. It's all pretty simple, right? Well, except that you can find Democrats on Fox and you can find Republicans on MSNBC, just in different ways. There was a really interesting piece in the Columbia Journalism Review about this earlier this week. I want to read a quote from it. While the liberal hosts of MSNBC often skewer conservatives, those debates happen with villains who are not in the studio, lambasted by proxy in news clips. At Fox, they happen in person, with a real live liberal who is often on staff. This got us thinking about what it is like at Fox and at MSNBC when guests or when commentators are in enemy territory. So I wanted to bring on two people who know a lot about that. Sally Kohn is a left-leaning community organizer. Wouldn't that job title have been used against you at Fox, right? And now here at CNN, she appeared on Fox until just a few months ago. And Ben Ferguson is a conservative talk radio host in Dallas with us today, who appears on CNN regularly as well. But in the past, before he was signed at CNN, he repeatedly refused to appear on MSNBC. Thank you both for being here.
Great to be with you.
Good to be here.
Ben, first to you. Back in the days when you weren't signed to any network, why not appear on MSNBC? They're entitled to their leftist points of view, right?
It wasn't worth it because it wasn't really even close to a fair fight. It was usually 3-on-1, and at best you got cut off. They did not want your opinion to get out. They wanted to use you as a punching bag. And so there's a certain point where you're saying, is it really worth it from a guy's perspective to get your hair done, put on makeup, talk for 30 seconds, and get yelled at? And for me, I mean, it better be worth my time if I'm going to put makeup on, for goodness sake. So there's a certain point when I'm just sitting there going, I'd rather sit around and watch sports than go over there and be their punching bag for a half hour.
Sally, do you feel the same way Ben does when you were at Fox? Was
I don't
it 3-on-1?
enjoy putting on makeup. No, I have to say, it was often 3-on-1. My favorite was 15-on-1 in a Hannity panel. He brought in a crowd of anti-Obamacare opponents.
Focus groups, right?
And me. So it was literally 15 against 1. And, you know, I mean, look, that time it felt a little bit absurd.
What's the value, though, to be in that room at that time?
Well, in that exact moment, I'm not sure. I mean, it's certainly, I think I got points. You certainly get points for going into the fight. But look, 2 points. One, someone has to be there in the conversation, right? And a show like Hannity, it is a partisan show. It is an explicitly partisan show. It's a conservative show. And from my perspective as a liberal, as a progressive, I want to be in the conversation. I don't want that to go unquestioned, unchallenged, first and foremost. And second of all, look, in the case of Fox, we know they have a tremendously large audience. They are not all strong right-wing conservatives. There are a lot of moderate Republicans. There are a lot of moderate Democrats. If my goal of being on television is to change people's hearts and minds, I want to reach those people.
So, Ben, you hear that logic. It would apply to MSNBC also. Not every viewer of MSNBC is a hardcore Democrat, a hardcore liberal. What do you make of the idea that you have to reach out to those people?
Well, I think reaching out is one thing and having a grand debate. I love having a great debate about the issues and truly having a fight over whatever the news and the topic of the day is. There's a difference between what Sally experienced and I think what MSNBC even does. Most of the time, they don't even have a Republican there. They just take the soundbite and destroy you with a soundbite that sometimes is taken out of context. But if you do go over there as a conservative, you're not really welcome. I think in other shows, even like Sally would agree, at least people are nice to you. They're welcoming. They want you there. They appreciate that you're there, and they want to hear your viewpoint. Whereas at MSNBC, they don't like you. They almost feel like you're just a random person that we're going to destroy for a couple of minutes, and we're going to shut you down, and we're going to tell you to stop talking and don't interrupt me. And so I think that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, I'm okay with defending what I believe in. I'm not okay with being a punching bag where you automatically know going in they really don't want you there. They just need you to fill that little box on the screen, and then you're the bad guy.
The reality is both Fox and MSNBC struggle to get people who are perceived to be from the other side of the ideological table. It is always a challenge. But my experience is very different from Ben's on both sides. I saw conservatives and liberals being treated very nicely, very appreciatively on both channels.
Well, this is a complaint that Rachel Maddow's brought up again and again and again, that she can't get Republicans to come on her show, even though she tries very hard to book them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's some reality to that. I also think there's some reality to you know, the sort of self-interest of pundits, right? And where do they want to go? You know, there isn't a lot of representation of Tea Party voices, for instance, on MSNBC. So I think you're right, Ben. They become kind of characterized.
And of course, they're accused as being fake Republicans when they're on MSNBC or fake Democrats when they're on Fox.
Yeah, but when you have hosts over there that use some of the vile language that some of their former hosts used to, for example, talk about Sarah Palin or some of the things that Chris Matthews has said about some conservative Tea Party people, and then you're shocked that those same people won't come on your show. I mean, there's your sign. I mean, there's a difference between being mean-spirited and just being, or I should say, being respectful but disagreeing and being just totally mean-spirited. And some of their hosts over there, they're flat out mean-spirited towards Tea Party members, conservatives, whether they be congressmen or senators or pundits.
Hearing what Ben is saying about Fox, do you hear nasty things about the president on Fox? Do you feel like the same kind of language is used on Fox that's used on MSNBC, but with different targets?
I mean, look, we're going through a media moment right now where you have Republicans who are calling the president weak and feckless. So to suggest that the mean language is only coming from the liberal side of the ledger is just absurd, right? And we can all pull our favorite examples of outrageous things that any host on any channel had ever said. I don't think it's that sort of simple and black and white.
Ben, Sally, thank you both for joining me. This was great.
A pleasure.
Thanks.